Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
What greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching us. In London, I'm Austin Okonakwan. Cecilia, after CAF announced the cities where we're going to be having action in the African Nations Championship, I'm saying that hopefully nothing will go wrong, and in August we'll get to have that tournament.
We can't wait for it to start in August. We are all waiting. The home-based Super Eagles of Nigeria will be playing in Zanzibar. That's where they will be playing their games. Of course, you know, for the first time, you're having 3 countries coming together to host the African Nations Championship, made for players playing strictly in Africa. So that's how it is. We'll be talking about that on the show tonight. And of course, we're still counting down to the 2024 in 2025 Africa Women's Cup of Nations, where you have the Super Falcons of Nigeria preparing for the tournament. They will be playing Ghana after facing Portugal. So one of the warm-up games before the tournament will start is a rush, because they needed these pre-tournament friendlies to be able to be ready for the competition. We will also be talking about the FIFA Club World Cup. It's currently going on. Inter Miami are down by a lone goal, courtesy of Sami Agahowa, who scored from the penalty spot. And so FC Porto is leading that one. We'll talk more about the FIFA Club World Cup on the show tonight. And of course, we will also be touching down on what's currently going on regards to youth development in Nigeria. Youth League. For the first time, you'll be having 8 Super 8 youth tournaments in Nigeria. It's going to be taking place in Lagos. 8 teams across the leagues in Nigeria will be taking part. Of course, it's called the Youth League for a reason. So some of these clubs that are having a younger team will be taking part in it. The likes of Eimba, Kano Pillars, they're all part of the 8 of the Super 8 are taking place in Lagos. 23rd June, that's when it is starting. It's a loaded package tonight. Of course, we'll touch down on tennis. One big star is leaving the stage. You get to find out about her on the show tonight. But Onifade is right here in the studio with me tonight. It's good to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Damilola.
It's good to be here, to be back. And such a wonderful night. Looking forward to the WAFCON. We've not done well by those women, but I mean, it's a case of let's make the most of what we have, and we hope that their talent will carry us through.
Talent, and talent. Yes, Austin, we'll go straight to the CAF, where they confirm the cities, and of course the cities where each of these countries are taking part, you know, in the tournament will be playing. Of course, we know for the home-based Eagles, they will be in Zanzibar. We can just take a look at the slides of how it is, you know, take a look at the way it is structured, where these teams will play. The group that Nigeria in, remember before now, it was Equatorial Guinea that is part of the teams that they will be playing. But Equatorial Guinea, after the appeal was thrown out, Congo Brazzaville reinstated. So you're going to be having Congo Brazzaville, you know, back in Nigeria's group. So let me just take a look at how it is at the 2024 African Nations Championship. It's just funny that most of the tournaments that should have taken place last year are all taking place this year. Okay, this was supposed to have been held last year, but it's taking place this year. So the host nations, the opening match will be hosted in Dar es Salaam, that's in Tanzania, on Saturday, August 2nd. I hope this is the real deal and not tentative. While the final match will take place in Nairobi in Kenya on Saturday, August 30th. The third place match will be staged in Kampala, that's in Uganda. Now, you've seen the 3 cities. They're going to be sharing the key games, but the opening match, obviously, is in Dar es Salaam. That's where the opening game is taking place. For the host cities for the group stages of the tournament, you have in Group A, Nairobi, Kenya will host Kenya, Morocco, Angola, DR Congo, and Zambia. You go to Group B, they will be in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, there, Madagascar, Mauritania. You have Burkina Faso and Central African Republic will complete the team that will be playing in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. In Group C, in Kampala in Uganda, of course, you have the host nation playing in the city. Niger Republic, Guinea, South Africa, and Algeria will complete this. Go to Group D where you have Nigeria. They'll be in Zanzibar. That's in Senegal, where you have Congo Brazzaville back in after Equatorial Guinea. They couldn't. The appeal was thrown out. Congo Brazzaville winning that appeal against them. Sudan is there, and of course Nigeria complete that Group D. So Austin, and if what does this mean for Nigeria? Now this is June, so we August, and already we know where the home base Eagles will be playing.
It means that preparation should be stepped up. I don't know how far we've prepared for this. But then when you look at the countries, and this is a competition that historically we've not really excelled so well as many would expect, as I personally would expect. And to have Senegal in that group, to have Sudan in that group, it's really a big deal. And Congo Brazzaville is also not a small nation. It's the Chan. And when it comes to Chan, you really can't put too much confidence into the fact that we are ready. Historically, I think we've gotten a lot more disappointment than we've succeeded at this level.
Yeah, Silver medalist. Yeah, that was 2018.
That's the best we've got.
That's a long time ago, Austin. I mean, Congo Brazzaville, they are back in that group. I love the fact that they made a appeal. At first, Equatorial Guinea reported them because they used a player that was not eligible to play for that game. They lost 2-1, but then the CAF threw them out, and of course brought in Equatorial Guinea. Congo Brazzaville had to make an appeal again, and of course they won the appeal, and they are back in it.
Yeah, I'm not particularly pleased with the way the Confederation of African Football handled this CHAN. I think they've messed up the momentum that we were expecting if they had not postponed it. For instance, I know there was back and forth about the number of teams that we're going to have. I think Egypt was also in that conversation. We don't even know how that has ended. But it's good to know now that we know the complete teams and we know the cities. Another big question for the Confederation of African Football: why are we playing the final in Kenya? Because I remember when this tournament was postponed in January, we're supposed to have it February the 1st. It was postponed to August. The Moi International Stadium in Nairobi, Kenya, was a big part of the conversation because President Ruto kept giving vague promises. And this is one thing we should stop doing in Africa's football. Patrice Motsepe, I understand, is chasing business and all of that, but we should also respect standards. The best that would have happened to this CHAN, and I'm sure Damilola Onifade, you would agree with me, I'll throw it back at you. If we had done this CHAN at the time teams were pumped up to do it, we would have had a fantastic tournament. Now, some countries don't even have the full complement of the squad that qualified for the competition. And Nigeria is tops that list. So I really don't know, but Damilola, with all of these postponements and watered down preparations, you think this competition will still have the sort of quality that we're expecting it to get before the postponement?
I definitely doubt that, Austin. I don't think it will have the same hype. I don't think many people... You see, a lot of work needs to be done to even get people aware that this CHAN is coming up in August. It's coming at a time when a lot of the leagues in Europe will also be coming back. You used the right word. CAF seems to have messed up this competition. Even the WAFCON, it's the same thing. As Cecilia said it, competitions were supposed to be held last year. We're holding them even towards the second half of this year. It says a lot about how CAF has managed the organization, and I think they can do better. Nigeria topped the list. That's why I'm sitting down here. I'm not even sure of who and who we're going to present for this one.
Transfer window. Players are leaving.
You said they are leaving. They've gone already. So it's a big deal that if indeed the best way to get this tournament to get to the heights that CAF, I believe they wanted to get to, is to, at the very least, ensure that the integrity of the competition is not compromised at any level. And where you start with that is the schedule. The schedule must be cast in stone. It must be cast in stone that this is the day, this is the time, this is the period where we host, and it's a 2-year window, a 3-year window, even a 4-year window. That must be established. If you cannot do something as simple as that, then there is a problem.
Especially, Austin.
Yeah, Cecilia, I was going to say, We did it with the under-20. The original host wasn't ready, and we took it to Egypt.
Yes.
Do the same thing. Do the same thing. You said it's Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya that will host the CHAN. If Kenya is not ready, why can't Uganda and Tanzania host it? If those two countries aren't ready, take the competition to a neutral venue. Of North Africa is always to the rescue. Morocco, Egypt, they will easily, host it, and by now would have been done with the CHAN, and there'll be much more, commercialization of African football, particularly at the club level, for CAF to, jump on. But as it is now, I know for sure that about 10 of the players from Remo Stars, they're all seeking, clubs abroad. About 30% of the guys that qualified for this CHAN, they've already gone out of Nigeria to play. So that makes them ineligible. And this is the problem. This competition is supposed to develop league football in Africa. So CAF, this is a thumbs down.
Yeah, it's really thumbs down, because I'm thinking most of the leagues are on break, and the ones that are not on break, they're playing at the FIFA club. Okay, I was looking at some of the teams now. Some are at FIFA. No, none of them is actually at the FIFA Club World Cup. So that could have also given them more like a momentum, for them to, to be ready. But if you look at the whole issue, the fact that when it starts in August, that's when leagues are resuming. So it simply means the players will not be fully fit. They're coming back from a break, to be okay. We'll just end it there, because at the end of the day, players will not be fully fit to actually play that tournament. They're coming from a break, and then you have test games or maybe friendly games to prepare them for it. This is June. We don't know players that will be playing for Nigeria, because you have July. That's the only month that you have right now. That is a full month before the tournament will start in August. We'll focus. Let's go to WAFCON, which is coming up, in July. And as we mentioned earlier, this one, for instance, the champions, South Africa, have been champions for 3 years. They've been champions for 3 years, and it's supposed to be a biennial tournament, which is every 2 years. But they've been champion for 3 years. So after 3 years, they are playing the first one, and they intend to place the next tournament next year. So you're going to have a back-to-back one. So whoever is going to win this tournament will have just few months to celebrate before they play the next one. But talking about the Africa Women's Championship, preparations have been on, and the news came out yesterday that NFF hasn't really confirmed it, but then from the Ghanaians have confirmed that they will be playing Nigeria. First, they're going to be playing Portugal. After Portugal, before they will be playing Ghana. They will be leaving the shores of the country this Saturday, the 21st, and then go to Portugal, play that. Then they go to Morocco. From there, they play the Black Queens, and then the tournament start. The question I asked on Tuesday was, they've launched Mission X. When you launch something, you have to do like activation. You activate it, you spread it across. You have like events, meet and greets, some things, just like create the buzz around it. But the buzz we got was just a press release that was, given to us. There's nothing. And from what we're hearing now, it simply means we're not even going to see the players, and you're asking for people to support. So how do you support brands that you didn't see?
There we go.
Yeah. Well, listen, it shows that a lot of things are not coordinated. If at all, even though everything seems haphazard and no coordination towards it, and for me, it just looks like somebody just have a brainwave and say, okay, let's do this thing, the 10th ring, Mission X, and all that. As bad as it is, we could have used the friendly against Cameroon to launch that campaign.
Yes,
because that's their last game at home.
You know why it didn't work? London and Russia.
That's the point. It didn't work. Why? Because the Falcons at that point was not the primary focus of the NFL. We didn't make it that. And it's the same thing I'm saying. We're playing friendlies now, and somebody will tell me we gave them friendlies to prepare them for the tournament. In how many years, how many friendlies are they playing? I mean, these are not, the hands of the coach are tied. And so whatever we get from this WAFCON, I said it at the beginning that I hope that our talent will be good enough. But whatever we get, we better accept it and not come and look for scapegoats. Not in this team, because we have not prepared them adequately. I'm talking about the NFF right now. It's one thing. For me, the campaign is looking more like just a slogan that is thrown out there for journalists to run with. I'm not sure the average Nigerian even understand. You tell somebody Mission X, is it a cartoon or something? Because that's what. Because nobody understands.
Like? Mission X, what does it sound like? cartoon character or something. I mean, I didn't say that. Onifade just mentioned it.
I know that is, look, branding is a lot of work. And I totally agree with Damilola, because when you brand, the intention is to make someone who doesn't know about that brand to know about it. You and I and Damilola, because it is our role as sports journalists, pundits, analysts, we know these things. But the common man on the streets who understands what it is for Nigeria to play football possibly doesn't know anything about Mission X. It's about 16, 17 days to go. We still don't have a team. We do not know the squad that will execute this Mission X. But now we should be talking about this as a team, start pumping up some, team spirit in the air, getting people to know the girls that are going to support and all of that. Look, the NFF in a lot of ways, I do not know how to call them out anymore. They really goofed with the preparation of this, WAFCON for the Super Falcons. Well, let's see. We listened to Tochukwu Oloyi the other day and Christy Uchebe, and they said they understand that when is the Super Falcons expected to perform. And I reminded us on the show the last time, still here, I said people are quick to forget that the last time we finished fourth, could have even beat Zambia, and now you're launching Mission X. Tell me what you've done from after the brilliant performance at the World Cup in New Zealand and Australia. What have we done as a country for women's football in terms of investment, quality programs that will keep this team together? We came back and we didn't know at some point who was coach, or are you going to make the interim coach the real coach? And then at some point, what are we doing with the team? We practically cried, reminding the NFF, these girls play a bit of friendly. The WAFCON is coming, And now you're quick to go and launch Mission X and put together a reel to get people to, no, it doesn't work that way. We need to start putting, real value into, look, this is a national asset. In Africa, this is the most respected women's team. Out of 12 editions, they have 9 titles. Cecilia Damilola, what's wrong with us? Is this how to treat that sort of team? This is money. This girl's running. If it is Europe, if it is England where I am, this is national treasure. It's a national asset. And I will just leave it that way because we know that, we are Nigeria, we'll go to the WAFCON and win. It doesn't work that way. By the way, shout out to Morocco. The FES Stadium is ready. Fantastic stadium. They're ready to host the final of the Women's Cup of Nations. And look, it's a clear testament of what Morocco is doing when you take a look at this FES Stadium, Damilola and Cecilia. It was built in 2003, just about when we were leaving the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos to rot. They built the stadium and they've been upgrading. It's 45,000 seater capacity now, and it's a state-of-the-art stadium. It has virtually everything you can think about a stadium in Europe. So shout out to Morocco. We cannot wait for the WAFCON, and let's see what Africa will show the world. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Let's go on this quick break. It's so tiring sometimes talking about why our leaders aren't doing the right thing, Cecilia. Let's go on the break. When we come back, there's so much more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back, Sports Tonight, on your award-winning sports-loving Channels Television. We're counting down to the Women's Africa Cup of Nations that will take place in Morocco. Cecilia, you talked about the readiness of the Super Falcons. I'm not feeling it. I won't lie to you. I'm not feeling it. I don't know. Let's go out there and see what the girls can do. But hey, you know for sure that talent isn't enough.
It's definitely not enough. Also, let me just bring you back to the stadium we saw earlier. That stadium will be hosting, the AFCON. That's the Africa Cup of Nations for the men in December. And also the World Cup in 2030 that they will also be hosting. So you see, it's ready. So there is no room to say, okay, we'll put finishing touches or anything. So that stadium, the FES Stadium, is ready to host the 2025 AFCON and also preparing it for the 2030 FIFA World Cup. That's Morocco. I call it the Mecca of African football. right now because almost everything is taking place there when it comes to football. Okay, now to your question, Austin, talking about the players, but Rita Chikwelu, former captain, she was the one who captained the Super Falcons when they won the most memorable of the recent titles they've won out of the 9, which was in Cameroon when Zé Akbaranozie scored that lone goal, and of course that full stadium. There was silence, like when you have, I don't know, pin will drop on that stadium. Yeah. The silence was a deafening silence. So she was the one captaining the team, and of course she has some things to say concerning the preparations that the girls have had this time around. Let's listen to her.
We don't have good preparation in any competition. You are talking about South Africa and Morocco. This is one of the big teams in Africa now, even Zambia. Look at Saudi Arabia. 3 years ago, they just started their league. And if Nigeria play against Saudi Arabia, I bet you it's not going to be easy game because they put a lot of support, a lot of sponsor in their league, but not enough in Nigeria. They believe we will use our strength, our experience in everything, but football is not only about experience. We need support, we need a sponsor, and we need facility where we can train our upcoming young players. We don't have that. When we train in the stone, even in Go Project, the Super Falcon train. After training, you have a lot of injuries. Nobody wants to sacrifice that anymore. That's the truth. Instead of everybody will say, I don't want to play again, I just want to go retirement from national team because you don't want to injure yourself after that. No support. Nobody will even ask you, how are you feeling? How was the injury? They don't even ask. You just go back to your club and your club take responsibility for the injury you sustained with the national team. This Nations Cup is the only miracle can make us win.
Yeah, time for miracle to work. So and that's what they are hoping for. As Austin mentioned, Oluwahi mentioned same thing. That's what they are hoping on because they've seen the build-up we had to the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. It's not there. We had a fantastic build-up, but we had time. We have the whole of 2024 to prepare for this WAFCON. Now we are rushing friendlies. To quickly play. We just played the first one for the year. Last year we played 2, right? And this year we played Algeria, then we played France. We're happy. Oh, it's coming up. And the NFF president then says every FIFA window will be utilized. But we missed 2 back to back. And then the third one, 2, of course, Cameroon, we know they actually messed that up for us. And then now we're going to rush, play Portugal, and then quickly play Ghana, and then the girls will be ready. You don't have, usually team will release them in South Africa, England, some other teams, they'll have, for instance, they'll have like a tentative list. You have maybe a list of 30 players. Then you play your friendlies, and then from there, you pick your final 23. But now you're going to go straight to picking your final 23. I'm sure these are the players you're going to use to prosecute the tournament. What happens when you have injuries? I hope that won't happen, after these 2 friendlies. So you're stuck.
There are 2 things we are hoping for now. You are praying that we'll win. You are praying that we don't get injured. You can see how difficult it is already. But then let's look at it. You mentioned something that for me is very critical.
Okay.
2023, we went to the World Cup.
Yes.
It's debatable. A lot of people say we were too defensive, we didn't do too well. But for me, it was a respectable performance at that level for the Super Falcons. 2 years down the line, what has happened?
We've gone back to lamentation we used to lament before 2023.
We've gone way back. The way we've dropped is so poor that this is probably the first time the Super Falcons are going for a WAFCON. Not even an average Nigerian journalist is confident that we can win. It wasn't even this bad 3 years ago when we came
when the players start saying they need miracle.
Even the players, that's where I'm going. Yeah. Even Nigerian players are saying we need miracle. So who am I to say they are going to win?
Okay. We'll end it there.
It is that bad.
Yeah. The build-up continues, right? So tomorrow we'll continue with the build-up, bring you the news and everything surrounding the WAFCON for 2024 in 2025. Okay, now, Austin, over to you. Grassroots sport development. You're big on it. And of course, for the first time in Nigeria, you're going to be having the Nigeria Youth League. Super 8 is kicking off June 23rd right here in Lagos.
I love it so much, Cecilia. We need to keep that that ecosystem busy, particularly now that we're not having proper league football. I think last year we had the Super 8 that, brought in community clubs and some teams in the Nigeria Premier Football League. And the prize money was good. I think Sporting Lagos won that one. But this one is good. We're waiting for the maiden season of the Nigeria Youth League Cup. Organizers have said that the competition will climax with a Super 8 championship, as Cecilia mentioned, from June the 23rd to the 30th. Where will this happen? At the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in right there. President of the league, Mr. Robinson Adakosa, said that made this statement during the draws in Abuja that the tournament is part of an elite youth development program designed to expose teenagers to structured competition and global opportunities. And yes, that's what we should be doing with the grassroots. What are some of the teams that will take part? Listed Kano Pillars, Plateau United, Kwara United, Mailatanki FC as qualifiers from the Northern Conference, while Eimba Football Club, Sunshine Stars, Atlantic Business FC, and Shuffle Select FC emerged from the South. Let's take a listen to some of the conversations that happened at our presser in Abuja.
The idea of this youth league is for us to create a global visibility for the Nigerian youth football system. Over the years, we've heard a lot of disappointment from academy owners, football club owners, and also the players themselves. I think Nigeria and African have been perhaps been ripped off for what is entitled to them. We've not taken our stage in the global stage. So I think it's also very important that we also make our league, especially for the youth level, to be very, very competitive and also give them that global visibility that it deserves. And by so doing, we attract the best clubs to recruit our players, and also we have good transfer fees for these guys. So creating this league with not just to create the competition, but also to have a technology-driven league and a data-driven league. And for us to be able to do this, we form partnership with reputable bodies, global bodies like Wisecout. Just as you know, Wisecout is the largest scouting analytical company in the world. They provide data and video analysis for top clubs and top leagues around the world. So we want them to also partner with us, and that's why they came and partnered with us to provide data as well. So our league is a data-driven league, and if you check our website, check our statistics, we have enough data, both video and data as well to help in promoting this league, these players. So we want a situation whereby scouts don't need to come to Nigeria for them to see and recruit players. With those data, with those information, they can go to Wisecout and also have data and also make a good decision to see if this player is good enough for them to recruit in that team.
Awesome. Good job, Mr. Robinson. Damilola, I like the fact that he focused on data analysis, because that's very important. At the grassroots, we don't really consider that, and that's what the scouts, prospective partners will look at. By the way, a prize money of 40 million naira is up for grabs, while the winner will go on with 10 million naira. Damilola, this is heartwarming for the grassroots.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm up for whatever structured arrangement we can bring into grassroots football or sport in general. And I think the key thing for me, beyond the money is good, but the other part of it is the fact that they have a plan to keep the data, the information of the players, their performance, because that's the only way you can monitor their progress from this level as they begin to move on. I hope that we can sustain it. It's a laudable one. And then the other thing also, because those data that you want to collect will be useless if you don't have the appropriate players playing in the youth league. You cannot have old people playing in youth league and then you want to keep data. That data is not useful. So it's also vital that we get it right.
Yeah.
We get it right. And if we are saying these are feeder teams of professional clubs in the MPFL, let's ensure that they actually feeder teams that belong to those clubs. Those are the kind of information that will be useful to us in about 2, 3, 5 years from now.
Yeah, I think, Austin, one thing I love about this is the fact that they also they'll also be bringing the head of recruitment from Barcelona, who happens to be Via Goris. He will be there for the week-long activities. And also the fact that they will be streaming all the games live, so scouts and everyone can actually see these players play. So those who can't be at the match venue will see them live, and of course also enjoy good football. And as you said, I hope the data they are talking about, they are able to keep it, and then we can make reference to it in the future. We can say, oh, Sterling played in the youth, league in 2024, in 2025, and now maybe 4 or 5 years later, then he's playing in Real Madrid or somewhere a bigger club. That data is definitely necessary for the growth of the game in Nigeria. We're talking behind this before we came on. Said we're going to enter the FIFA Club World Cup right about now. When Damilola mentioned that the level of football he has seen at the FIFA Club World Cup from the African teams there, that he's actually excited, or rather he's happy or he's contented that we don't have a Nigerian team there because they cannot compete at that level. I'm like, I had to look at him like twice. What the heck are you talking about? But I completely understood what he was trying to say. The level of competition, we also need to take our football to that higher level. That's why a youth league like this is actually necessary,
I agree. Cecilia, our big problem is we do not want to build. We like ready-made results, But see, before diamond comes out shining, it goes through a lot of beatings, goes through a lot of burns. We just want to wake up and start talking about Aimba and talking about Kano Pillars. No, look at Remo Stars that everyone is praising. Everyone has forgotten the journey of Remo Stars from an academy. And then the owner of the club is still involved with building and investing in the team. And now he's getting the results. So I totally agree with Damilola. You take us there now, we'll go and do kick and follow football and just hope that we will score goals. We've seen our team struggle in CAF tournaments, and it's no surprise that we have not even reached group stage since I think 2018 or 2019. And when you see the level of football that is being played at the FIFA Club World Cup, you'll be like, wow, because we've not invested in football science. It's nice science, and 90 to 95% is right here. So the education itself of our players is lacking. Okay. We have the coach, no. Infrastructure, no. And we're talking about bringing VAR, Cecilia.
Okay. Our football is actually fantastic. I mean, we had a good season this year. Hopefully, August, when we start, we're going to be having better. Andrew, you still want to add something?
I wanted to add to Austin.
Is it negative or positive?
No, it depends on where you sit on it. Austin mentioned 3 things. Coaching institution, no. You should add it as number 3.
Okay. It's still negative. All right. Let's look through the FIFA Club World Cup, starting with games that were played on Wednesday night, and of course games that were also played earlier today. Juventus, of course, started that onslaught. Remember when Bayern had this 10-0 thrashing of semi-footballers in New Zealand, but then Juventus did something earlier today. But Wednesday, we'll start off with Wednesday's result. Al Hilal held Real Madrid to a 1-0 draw. This was a surprise result of the week so far. Pachuca and Salzburg winning by 2-1. And it comes to Group E, Montreal and Inter Milan 1-1 draw. No one expected this draw also. And Manchester City, they were, convincingly have a bright start against Wydad. Casablanca ended 2-0 in favor of Manchester City. You have Phil Foden and Doku actually scoring those goals. Okay, for the earlier game also on Wednesday, Ulsan Hyundai and Mamelodi Sundowns, it was Mamelodi Sundowns winning this by a lone goal. Now let's take a look at the games that happened earlier today. Okay, all right. Okay, let's go to fixtures. We're supposed to look at games that happened earlier today. Let's go to fixtures. Flamengo and Chelsea will be in action on Friday. You have Los Angeles and Esperance of Tunisia, Benfica and Auckland City, then PSG and Botafogo will also be in action. So these are games for Friday. Now, Austin, you have quick updates coming from Inter Miami and, of course, FC Porto. I know the results have actually changed.
Yes, Cecilia, at the start, it was Aguero that gave FC Porto the lead.
Okay. Okay, quickly, I mean, when Agawa scored that goal, it was early penalty. I'm like, is this going to be Messi at this also? Because the game they played, the first opening game was stalemate, was goalless. Yeah. But this time around, it's now 2-1. Messi has scored. And of course, everyone has said there's a Govi, also another player has scored. So it's now 2-1 in favor of Inter Miami.
I think it's good for them.
I'm sure Infantino will be happy.
Honestly, in fact, I was going to say it. You took that from me because I think the way FIFA didn't hide it. They've built a lot around the presence of Messi for this tournament, and I think for FIFA's sake, I don't think they will win it. I've seen that in play. I don't think they are good enough from what I've seen.
Yeah.
But at least crossing the first round will help FIFA at least still to keep the Messi vibe around the tournament. You are sure that people will come and see Messi wherever they play.
Yeah.
And I think for that, that's good enough. Not that they were a poor team, but when you compare them to the possible teams they will meet along the way, then they were quite lucky that Al Ahly did not beat them. They were quite lucky. I think Al Ahly should have won that game. But it's good that at least, and personally, I'm also happy that at least Messi scored. I was hoping that I was going to score the first goal of the tournament. But it didn't.
Okay, it didn't work. Austin, we are happy that Messi, at least, he has scored his first goal of the tournament. He was the hype was built around him because USA, we know, they're not too big on soccer, but people are coming to the stadium to actually watch.
Messi has scored the goal. If they go on to win, I'm sure that's all you're going to hear in the media. And it's so good for Gianni Infantino and FIFA because they understand the effects of Lionel Messi at this FIFA Club World Cup. Yeah, I was going to give the analysis. You said it, and I was saying this Agahoa guy is related to our own Agahoa back in the day. You know the name. He gave FC Porto the lead early on, and then they found a way to get back to it in the 47th minute, where Segovia equalized for Inter Miami, and in the 54th minute, Messi did what Messi can do. So let's see if Inter Miami can stay focused on that, go on to win it. But hey, it's competitive because I see FC Porto pushing, they're trying to get back into it. 77 minutes gone. Can Inter Miami hold on to a win? We'll see.
We'll see. I want to see a fantastic result in Atlanta, Georgia, to see if Inter Miami can actually get their first win of the tournament. FIFA Club World Cup is big. I mean, the result that didn't shock me was Juventus beating Al Ain by 5-0. I'm happy that the Saudi teams are not performing well. Yeah, I'm happy because the African teams are performing better because we're not conceding so many goals. I mean, Mauritius already having a win. You're smiling or what?
I don't know. Do you expect the Saudi teams, apart from the hype of how much they spent in recent times?
Okay,
I think the Saudi
even
teams,
the teams from South
apart
Korea.
from Al Hilal, the only one, I call that the draw against Real Madrid 1-1. And I think that draw was built around. When you look at that Al Hilal team, has at least players that just moved from Europe about a year ago. About 5 or 6 of them were in that team. So that's not a typical Saudi team.
Okay.
I was looking at the whole of their bench are filled with Saudi players, but the European players were the ones that played, and that gave to that result. But I think Africa, yes, we've not won so much apart from Mamelodi Sundowns, but I think they've given a good account so far. You can't give what you don't have. One thing is certain: club football in Europe and South America is up there. We are coming up, and I think this competition can just propel at least those countries that are serious about club football to get there. When we get serious, we'll join them.
Yeah, because we're watching Palmeiras and Al Hilal. We saw how Al Hilal, took
even
the
with
ball
that,
to them.
gave Man City a good fight.
Yeah,
with that, Casablanca gave Man City a good fight. It wasn't Man City couldn't blow them away,
stroll,
and it wasn't a stroll in the park for them. They gave a good fight, and it was quite commendable.
Yeah, commendable one, right? Okay, now let's quickly talk about this one before we leave the studio. Yes, it's all about a player who will be leaving the stage after the US Open. I'm talking about Petra Kvitova, a 2-time Wimbledon champion. She got a wild card to participate in this Wimbledon that is coming up later this month. But she got that wild card, but she now announced earlier today that she will be retiring from tennis after the US Open. She's 35 now, currently ranked 572. Remember when Serena Williams and the others were talking about having a protected, seeding when you take time off to have a baby and everything, your ranking should be protected, and that's why this one comes in right here. Remember in 2011 she was ranked number 2, so she went on to win her first Wimbledon, the first of her 2 titles. One was in 2014, and of course, she reached the final of the Australian Open in 2019. So this week she got that wild card. This will be her last time at Wimbledon, and of course the very last one is going to be at the US Open. Yeah.
Fantastic career she's had. A lot of people, if you don't follow tennis, when you start comparing two Grand Slam to people that have won 15, listen, those that have won 15 and above are the exceptions.
Yeah.
Most people don't even win 5. Yeah, they've had a fantastic career, and I think she has had a good career. Wish her all the best, and I'm sure. And sometimes I say in sports that when you know that your body can no longer carry you, it's time to call it quit and look for something else that you can do. At 35, you're still at the prime of your age for so many other things, maybe not sports. And congratulations to her that she's living healthy.
She's living healthy. That's the thing. 2024 season, that's when she took time off to have her baby. And of course, she returned. And so far, in 7 games she has played, she has lost 6, winning 1. And the 1 was the first round in Rome. And so, well, she won in Berlin last year, 2023, one of her grass court titles. She has won 31 titles, WTA titles, and 2 majors. Austin, we're leaving it here.
Let me add the part that you guys didn't talk about in 2016. That intruder, attacked her. It was life-threatening. She received stabs on her left hand. I think her tendons and nerves were, affected. And that's mental health right there. It happened in 2016. And then you mentioned that she missed the whole of 2024 to have her first child. And that's where we should commend women, because combining motherhood and competitive tennis isn't easy. Now we understand what Serena was also going through. So she has said she has surpassed her expectations. Double champion 2011 and 2014. And then 2016, that mental attack happened. Now she's a mom. There's just so much happening. Petra Kvitova, well done. We'll miss her because she brings some good aura, to the court. And of course, she's definitely a role model to upcoming tennis players. That's a good place to leave it. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Damilola Anifade, it was nice doing this with you again.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. And after all said and done, we're still Nigerians. So we support the Chan Eagles, and of course, we support the Super Falcons.
Yes,
all the best to them.
Mission X, yes, we're rooting for that 10th title. It's been a while, right? Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night rest.